Hi everybody, welcome back to Atomfall, and in this quick video I wanted to address the question about whether Atomfall, is it really an open world and how does it work? So the way it works is the fact that with Atomfall it's not a complete open world like you'd have something like in DayZ or Stalker 2 or something like, I guess, Grand Theft Auto, where it's just massive and there's no loading screens and you just traverse the world, and it's one massive place. The way that Atomfall does it is you have separate areas that are joined by loading points, and they're pretty big, these areas, and this is probably related to the fact that Atomfall still works on the PlayStation 4. There's a PlayStation 4, don't know if there's an Xbox One version, but last gen as well, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. So for example, at the moment, I'm on the Slatton Dale map. So if you look at the top, that little green arrow, that's me. But there's some other regions as well. We have Casterfell Woods, as you can see here, and then we have Skethermore, which is more of an open area. And then we have the interchange, which I'm not going to show you, and then we have Wyndham Village as well. There is one other area which you'll discover later on in the game. Again, I'm not going to show you because I don't want to spoil anything. Now these areas are similar in size to something like a Sniper Elite map. So when you first go into them, they take you quite a while to go around because you're exploring, because they're very dense with points of interest and things to find. But once you know what you're doing, you can navigate across them pretty fast. So this means you don't really need a fast travel system. And in fact, there are various ways to get from point to point without using the same system. So, for example, here in Slattendale, I'm not really giving anything away. That to get to Wyndham Village, we can use that entrance there. But we can also go into the sewer tunnels that kind of take us to the woods that way. Or we can go into, I shouldn't have really showed you that. And then you've got the slate mine caves that will take you round this way. So there's different ways to get across. And they're pretty dense. You know, there's lots and lots of things on these maps that you can find and discover. And even after sort of 20 odd hours in, as I'm wandering around, I just found another thing the other day. So what we'll do now is let's go to the village. So you can see how it works as we go between. So, but when you start the game, actually, you start all the way up here. That's where you start, and you kind of come around here and explore this whole area, and you follow leads and you do things. You don't have to complete an area before you move on. You can just wander around and go from area to area. The thing that kind of limits you is sometimes there's certain objects that you have to get to go into certain areas. And also you'll come across enemies that are quite powerful that you'll need different weapons for. But overall, you can explore really wherever you want to go, and you can find out what's going on in this green and unpleasant land, as Rebellion say in the marketing for this survival action game. So now we're in Wyndham Village, so let's just get in here. So now we can look at the map. So we've come into this part, and we can explore, all of this. What you do get, though, in the maps, if we go to, let's have a look at Skethermore, you also get bunkers and cave systems, which are very big in and of themselves as well. And some of them are absolutely huge that you'll go into. So you kind of have these open world bits like this where we can wander around and do whatever we like. And then you'll have the cave and bunker systems, which are a little bit more linear. You know, you're going down a corridor that might have a couple of different ways through it, but generally there'll be one way in and one way out, or there could be two ways in, or the way out and the way in are kind of interchangeable that way. So although you could argue that it's not a true open world game because you do have these loading areas in between the main big areas, for all intents and purposes it is an open world game. So there we go, the amazing Atomfall. Hopefully this has been a useful video. If it has been, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and of course I'll see you again soon.